What happens when a young FBI trainee is sent to interview a cannibalistic serial killer to catch another murderer? Let's dive into this chilling tale of psychological horror and suspense, filled with twists, turns, and unforgettable characters. Clarice Starling, a bright and ambitious FBI trainee, is called into the office of her supervisor, Jack Crawford. Crawford, the head of the behavioral science unit, has a daunting task for her: to interview Dr. Hannibal Lecter, a brilliant psychiatrist and infamous cannibalistic serial killer who is currently imprisoned in a high-security asylum. Crawford believes Lecter's unique insights into the criminal mind could help the FBI catch another serial killer, known only as Buffalo Bill, who has been terrorizing the Midwest. Clarice, though inexperienced, accepts the assignment, knowing it could be a career-defining moment or a dangerous mistake. Clarice arrives at the Baltimore State Hospital for the Criminally Insane, a grim and foreboding facility. The air is thick with tension as she walks through the sterile, echoing halls, past cells filled with the most dangerous criminals in the country. She is led to Lecter's cell, a glass-walled enclosure designed to contain his intellect and brutality. When she first sees him, she is struck by his calm, almost regal demeanor. Lecter is polite, articulate, and eerily perceptive. He immediately begins analyzing Clarice, noting her West Virginia accent, her cheap shoes, and the faint scent of her skin lotion. He agrees to help her but sets a condition. In exchange for his insights, Clarice must share personal details about her life. The case of Buffalo Bill is gruesome and baffling. The killer has been abducting women, starving them, and then murdering them to remove patches of their skin. The FBI believes he is creating a woman's suit to transform himself, but his motives remain unclear. Clarice dives into the case files, studying crime scene photos, autopsy reports, and witness statements. She notices a recurring detail. Each victim had something inserted into their throats, a moth pupa. Clarice consults entomologists, who identify it as the death's head hawk moth, a symbol of transformation. This clue becomes a central focus of the investigation. Clarice returns to Lecter, hoping for more insights. Their conversations become a psychological chess match, with Lecter probing Clarice's mind as much as she probes his. He provides cryptic hints, such as the phrase, "We covet what we see every day," and suggests that Buffalo Bill's crimes are driven by a desire to change his identity. In return, Lecter demands personal revelations from Clarice. Reluctantly, she shares a traumatic memory from her childhood: the death of her father, a small-town sheriff, and the helplessness she felt hearing the screams of lambs being slaughtered on her relative's farm. Lecter seems satisfied, but Clarice feels exposed and vulnerable, as if she has given him a piece of her soul. The FBI receives a breakthrough when they identify a suspect linked to one of Buffalo Bill's victims. They raid a storage facility, but it turns out to be a trap. Buffalo Bill had planted a decoy, and the agents find nothing but a gruesome mannequin made from human skin. The team is shaken, and Clarice begins to question whether they will ever catch the killer. Meanwhile, Lecter orchestrates a daring escape from custody. He brutally attacks his guards, using their own weapons against them, and vanishes into the night. The FBI is thrown into chaos, and Clarice realizes she can no longer rely on Lecter's guidance. She must trust her own instincts to solve the case. Clarice continues to piece together the clues. She recalls Lecter's hint about coveting what we see every day and connects it to Buffalo Bill's first victim, who was a seamstress. She theorizes that Buffalo Bill knew his victims personally, perhaps through everyday interactions. This leads her to a small town in Ohio, where she interviews the family of one of the victims. They mention a man named James Gum, who had once tailored a dress for their daughter. Clarice realizes Gum is Buffalo Bill. The FBI tracks Gum to a remote house in Illinois. Clarice, armed and determined, arrives at the scene. Inside, she discovers Catherine Martin, Buffalo Bill's latest victim, trapped in a dry well. As Clarice searches the house, she hears the eerie sound of night vision goggles clicking and realizes Gum is stalking her in the dark. The tension reaches a fever pitch as the lights go out, plunging Clarice into complete darkness. She relies on her training and instincts, listening for the faintest sound of movement. In a heart-stopping confrontation, Clarice hears Gum's breathing and the click of his gun. She spins around and fires, hitting him multiple times. Gum collapses, and the house falls silent. Clarice rescues Catherine from the well, and the FBI arrives to secure the scene. The case is closed, but Clarice is left emotionally drained, haunted by the horrors she has witnessed. Days later, Clarice receives a phone call. It's Hannibal Lecter, now a fugitive. He assures her he has no plans to come after her, for now. The call ends with Lecter saying, "I do wish we could chat longer, but I'm having an old friend for dinner." The screen fades to black as Lecter walks through a crowded street, blending in seamlessly, his freedom intact. This story of courage, psychological manipulation, and the battle between good and evil leaves a lasting impression. Clarice Starling's journey from a rookie FBI trainee to a hero who saves lives is both inspiring and harrowing. Hannibal Lecter's chilling intellect and unpredictability make him one of the most unforgettable characters in literature and film. If you enjoyed this chilling tale, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share for more gripping stories like this one. What did you think of Clarice's journey? Did you find Hannibal Lecter as fascinating as he is terrifying? Let us know in the comments below. And if you're brave enough, dive into the world of the Silence of the Lambs yourself. Just remember to keep the lights on, smiling face with smile.